Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dialogo. This is your host, Josh, and today I have a very special guest. This is my friend Jason. I've been knowing you for a while on Instagram and Facebook, and we've seen each other a couple of times. You know, when we used to go out and be young.
Yeah, I used to.
It's good that you're here. I appreciate you taking your time. I know you're a pretty busy guy, and I just wanted to let everyone know that I appreciate everyone that's watching. This shit's going crazy. We're actually getting some views in. I never thought we would do something like that. And please click the subscribe button at the end. That really helps this YouTube channel. And if you're on Spotify, you can subscribe, and then you get notifications on there. That's it, man. Jason, can you give us a little background on yourself?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me on. My name is Jason Lee. Last name is Villarreal or Villarreal in Spanish. I'm a realtor. I've been in real estate since 2013, and it's my full-time job, hobby, and I sleep it, I dream it. It's terrible.
Yeah. I see a lot of what you do on Instagram and the houses that you deal with.
Yeah.
Jesus, they look amazing. How is it to deal with such a huge property? To put all the little details together.
It's nice. I'm obviously blessed to be selling and representing sellers and buyers, for these type of properties. I've always wanted to do this and to hit, that certain house and that certain price. It's truly a blessing. Initially, when I first started, you walk in this ginormous house and you're just like, whoa, This is nuts. And now it's, just part of your routine. Every house is different, but interesting. I love going to every single property. So different. You see things where you wouldn't see anywhere else. So
I'm sure. Just the experience of actually going into a house like that, and being able to experience, the furniture, the paintings, all the expensive stuff that's there,
Yes. So what a lot of people don't know, we typically stage the properties, especially if they're vacant. And there's a lot of people that don't do that or don't know how that works. There's some people that hire a staging company. They come out, they put furniture. But I work with someone that has his own staging business. And what's awesome is I go in there and I choose the living room furniture from accessories and bedroom sets and all of it. So it's awesome because I'm able to kind of like have my own little creation and, make sure it fits the vernacular of that specific home, because you can't put, modern furniture in a traditional home. But I love doing that. So staging days, even though it gets hot, especially during the summer.
And you don't wear a suit for that, right?
I do not wear a suit. No.
I saw a video that you made where you were like in a suit and you're like, all right, my staging gear, let's put it on. And I'm sure you have that taste, like a good taste, where you have to match everything correctly and make sure it's good. Is the buyer sometimes a little picky on what you pick, or they let you take over?
Sometimes they're, can we change this painting out to this? And but it's fun. It's sometimes it's 12, 13 hours days. I start at 7 in the morning, get at the warehouse and meet the movers and get everything situated. And sometimes we stage 2 houses in a day, and it's a lot of back and forth. But it's definitely fun to see the before and after. And I just initially started to create a video of a lot of people don't really see what it looks like and what I actually do.
That's good.
So I'm like, let me record this, put this on TikTok, and go from there. So I've had a lot of great feedback because, including my family members. I just showed a video to my cousin recently. I said, hey, I did this video, and she's like, Jason, you did this? And I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't think that's what you meant whenever you said I'm going to go stage at home, because you say it so nonchalantly, like it's not a big deal. But it's just become part of my everyday routine. It's like, yeah. She's like, you physically move furniture? And I'm like, yeah, I know you can't tell, but sometimes I lift stuff every once in a while. But yeah, it's a great process. So I just started doing that recently, and people like to see the before and afters.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know if have you watched Sex and the City? Are you a big
No? Not. Tell me.
Oh, man, you got to watch this new season that came out. I was bringing it up. Yeah, I mean they're old and everything already. Right. I still love them, but you know the main character is selling her house, and it's an apartment in like the nice part of New York, and it's millions of dollars. And the realtor comes in and she's like, okay, this all has to go. I'm going to bring in my team and we're going to stage this house. And that's the reason why I asked. I was like, dude, I'm sure, you know, whenever this character came in and she saw everything, she was like, this is not my house.
Yeah. Huge deal. We have a listing in the River Oaks area, and nice Mediterranean house. And, you know, some of the furniture was just, you know, there needed to be more furniture, just some of that special touch. So all we did was stage the living room, rearrange furniture, rearrange a few things where it's easily accessible. So when I'm showing a house, you know, there's not a furniture that's in the way, and people are gonna think, oh, this room's tiny. So we just move stuff around sometimes and do like a very light staging. And that alone, like we showed them the before and after photos, and they came back home and they were like, this is my house. Wow. I'm like, I don't know if I want to move. And I'm like, well, hold on, you know. But even the most smallest things of just knowing where to place furniture makes the biggest difference.
That's good, man. I mean, and I'm sure it's something that you have a love and passion for. Like you said, it's something that you've always wanted to do. And just like my past two guests, you know, we've always discussed that subject as if you're not doing something that you like and you love, are you really happy? Oof. Yeah. And that's a deep one, dude, because I know a few people that are working just, you know, and they're just miserable the whole time. And how's your everyday life as a realtor? Are you a happy person?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love it. I'm very passionate with what I do. You know, but there's some people that aren't like that either. So try to stay away from those kind of people. But I love what I do every day. You know, get up early, go to the gym. I have my routine. What's nice is my office is literally a block away from where I live. It's wonderful. Yeah, I can work from home, of course, but I need to see people. I need to talk to people. I need to have some type of interaction. So I go to the office, and you know, there's not a lot of people that do, but I'm one of them.
With this whole COVID and, you know, pandemic, the whole working from home was, I mean, it's actually a new thing, you know, and I think big corporations are doing it more. Yeah. They want their people to be at home. I'm one of those persons. I'm home all day long, and I'm looking at screens. And I used to be that. I mean, at this point right now, I feel like I want to go into an office. Yeah. I want to go see people, interact with other people. So, you know, I see your point. I had a job before where my job was like a block away, and I could just literally walk. That's great. But it was bad because at times I would be like, all right, I'm gonna go home and eat. Oh yeah. And I'll just stay there for a while, take a nap, and just come back and be like, oh fuck, it's already 4 p.m.
My alarm.
Yeah. So it's good, man. Is there any hobbies that you have, you know, that you enjoy at this point in your life?
You know, that's a terrible question because it's eating.
No,
I'm a huge foodie. Any new restaurant, I'm always eating out. It's terrible.
What's your favorite restaurant right now in Houston?
Right now, dude, I saw your post, Aka.
Yeah,
dude, I go there all the time.
Yeah, we used to live across the street.
Oh, I can walk there. So you know Tony? He's a waiter. He's the best.
No. So, okay, so I'm gonna tell you something. When we go out to eat. Before, I was like the guy that would talk to everybody. Like, I was like, hey, bro, what's going on? Yeah. How are you? And then, you know, I got a little more serious. I don't know how.
Really?
Yeah, I got more serious where I actually go and I like to enjoy the food. Because we used to go to the place and I used to talk more than I used to interact with the person that I was eating with.
Oh, yeah.
Or I wasn't paying attention to the food.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Now I'm going to interact with the food and with the conversation that I'm having.
That's good.
Yeah, so Akka, dude, it's great. Oh, and then I don't know if you know, but they have a reverse happy hour.
Oh, I definitely know about the reverse happy hour.
Yeah, that reverse happy hour was just like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You're hungry and you just walk there. You're like, before they throw everything away, let me just go.
It's like, do I get a discount or y'all throwing this away? It's like we go to Little Caesars before they close. It's like, can I take that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, but that's one of your favorites, or?
Yeah, one of my favorites. I go there often. Lots of sushi places. Uptown Sushi. Uchi's my favorite. Kata Robata. Yeah.
Mexican food? Anything?
Oh, for sure. What's terrible? So El Rey.
Where's that at?
It's off Richmond. It's like hole in the wall.
Oh my God, I know what you're talking
Not El Rey.
No. There's so Ray in Washington.
No, I've gone there after 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Man, it's terrible. I don't even know what it's called.
On Richmond.
Yeah, it's on Richmond, just outside the Loop, south of obviously Westheimer, off of Sage and Richmond. If y'all know.
Yeah, if you guys know, comment down below, because I am kind of lost right now at Richmond and Sage. If you're not from Houston, then you're totally more lost. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You see my Instagram; it's all about food.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually going on a trip next week to Mexico City.
Oh, okay.
And we're gonna do my birthday party, and then after that, I'm gonna do a whole food thing, like street food, and I'm gonna record a video. So hopefully you stay tuned.
It's gonna be cheap.
I know, making you hungry, dude. Yeah. But going back to the roast date, I recently purchased my house. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I was kind of scared. It was my first time buying a house. And I wanted to ask you a few tips that you could give people. What should you do to be prepared whenever you buy a house?
So there's a lot of people that think that they can do it themselves because you open up an app or two and everything's there. And unlike this house, I think a mistake most people make is they contact the listing agent directly. The listing agent is whoever's representing the sellers to sell their home. The listing agent represents the sellers.
Okay.
So people get confused, and a lot of people say, "Well, why don't you represent me?" Well, they're already representing the sellers. They have their best interests for them.
Yeah.
So I always recommend is any referral or any family or friends, look at someone who knows what they're doing, who's been doing it for a while and has transactions under their belt. And you need to have an advocate that fights for you when buying a home, especially a house, a home. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
House and home. Especially nowadays. It's such a crazy market out there, especially if anything under 500,000. Suburbs, I mean, there is... Recently, I had a listing in Cyprus, and I had 23 offers, which is insane. I had 150 people at that open house.
Wow.
150. 23 offers. I stayed in the office until about 10 p.m. that night, just reviewing every single offer, all the contingencies. It was nuts. Sellers were happy.
23 offers.
23 offers. It is.
I mean,
insane.
I've seen that sometimes it's hard to even get 2-3 offers. But yeah. Yeah. And then another thing I wanted to touch with you, the house, openings that you do. Yeah. I'm sure they're like incredible. I've never been to one, but you need to invite me.
You need to.
Yeah. How do you stage that? I know I have a few followers on the podcast. I've seen that they're realtors. What's a good tip you could give them for staging? Staging the house, the house opening.
Make it so. You touched on this earlier. You said a lot of people are staying at their house, and working from home. What we've done is, if you have an extra bedroom, stage this as an office. There's people that don't need the fourth bedroom. Stage it as an office so people can see and envision themselves working there, and always try to create the most amount of space whenever you're touring houses. And what's interesting now is, I know you've probably seen online, is digital staging.
I saw that.
And sometimes the furniture looks terrible.
Wow. It is because of the models that they just have.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? What is going on?
Wow.
So a lot of nowadays you're seeing digital staging where they take a photo of a vacant room, and designer goes in there and digitally stages the furniture where they can envision the bed, the nightstands, dressers, and it helps. Definitely, it helps the public. A lot of people can't envision themselves or their furniture fitting in the room unless they have that there. So that has been huge, especially the last 2 years.
Yeah, I feel with that where you can't vision some stuff because it took us a while to vision things in the upper room, like on the upper floor. Our room, like we were like,
so what do I do?
What do I do? Like, how do I stay? Like, I let my girl take care of that because she did all that. Yeah, I mean that's good that you touched. I know we were speaking earlier about a few reality shows because I feel like that's something that's become like real popular now.
The amount of DMs I get
Yeah.
from people, hey, I want to become a realtor, and I'm like, it's not because the TV isn't. They're like, yeah, I just watched Selling Sunset, and I'm like, oh,
yeah. I feel like there's a hype going on with the real estate Asian belt going on.
It's definitely popular now because of those shows. What's terrible, it makes a lot of us look bad because obviously it's scripted and it's
it's drama. It's nothing but drama.
A lot of drama.
Yeah.
Though that does happen in real estate. It's not quite as crazy, but it's not like that sometimes.
I mean, I just finished watching it like 2 weeks ago. Who was your favorite character in Selling Sunset?
Who is my favorite character?
Or who would you relate yourself more to? I know they're all women, but
yeah. Do you want to be honest with you?
Yeah, you have to.
I've watched 3 episodes.
No. Of the first season or the second season?
Well, first season was like mid-pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? So I watched, I had nothing else to do. So I watched it. I don't know any of their names.
Yeah. I mean.
Isn't that terrible?
We're kind of like into the reality show thing.
Have you seen the new one, Selling Tampa?
Yeah. I didn't watch it all.
One of my colleagues was like, hey, you should watch this. It's a joke. And I'm like, all right, let's watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude, okay, so good thing that you touched Selling Tampa. The owner of the brokerage, I think, right? Is that how it's pronounced? Owner
brokerage.
Yeah. The broker. She gets into it with one of her realtors, and she's like, well, you shouldn't worry about the commission or anything like that. That's something for me to worry about. Yeah. I was like, who wouldn't worry about what you're actually making? Commission on houses, how does that work? I mean, some people don't know how it actually works.
Yeah, so don't listen to those reality TV shows. It makes us look bad. I saw the episode and I stopped watching because she calculated her commission and she's like, oh, $276,000. That's vacation money. I mean, like, how demeaning is that to like everyone else who's like working? And it glorifies the profession, and everyone thinks like, oh, I'll just sell a $10 million house and make this much. Not really the case. What they don't factor in. So typically, your average commission is 6%. 3% goes to the listing side, the seller, and the other 3% goes to the buyers and the buyer's agent. So it's typically 3%. From there, you have a brokerage that you split the commission with. A lot of people don't account because all the videos and photos and all marketing collateral that you see is expensed by the listing agent. So if I have a house on the market and I'm spending thousands and thousands of dollars,
it comes out of your budget.
It comes out of my budget.
Yeah.
So if I want to advertise on not just social media, but Paper City, HBJ, anywhere and everywhere, I pay for that. And if the sellers are like, you know what, don't want to sell, I want to lease it out instead, or I'm like, let's just wait. It's just wasted money. Not wasted, but you don't get back.
So I mean, and you obviously have to pay taxes and all that kind of stuff. I was actually listening to a podcast earlier. I don't remember the name, but the person was talking about how whenever they started, in real estate. Mm-hmm. They would see that their other people, other realtors in their group, they were struggling to sell their first or second house, and they would have to hold on to that money from the first house and
it is tough.
Make it extend to where make it last to where you buy the second house and you make some money off of it.
Yeah.
And I remember this was in California, so I was talking about like $1.2 million. Yeah. And I don't know how much money they would get off of that, but you have to expand that there and there. Did you ever go through that phase where, at the beginning it was kind of hard?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I first initially started in 2013, I had a buddy of mine who was working at one of the top luxury firms in Houston, and I went to school here in Houston, but back in 2011, 2012, I was living in Austin, and I knew he worked at this brokerage firm, and I called him and I said, hey, I'm going to get into real estate. I'm getting my license, and I'm going to work out of Austin.
Wow.
I didn't know anything about Austin. I lived there for about a year. And he's like, oh, he helped me out. And he then said, his name's Jonathan. He said, we're hiring. And I'm like, well, Houston's home,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, sure. What are you hiring? He said, it's a floating assistant position. He said, usually from there, if you become a floating assistant to all the luxury agents in Houston, you'll move to assistant to somebody and be part of their team. And then you can go on your own. So I was making pretty good money doing what I was doing in Austin. And the very next day, he set up an interview, and I drove 2.5 hours early in the morning because the interview was at 9:30. And I get there, and everything's fancy and nice, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Did you go like suited up? Or
what's terrible? I barely have style now, but I definitely didn't have it back then. It was terrible. Like none of my stuff was tailored. A wrinkly shirt, kid. And I go there and I try to look good. I probably got something from Ross and baggy jeans from Marshalls, and
Oh, you went in jeans?
No, baggy pants. From
I was
Mars,
like,
not that
jeez,
crazy.
Jason, come on.
It was terrible. And I just my hair was just a mess, and I was like, all right, I got this. I didn't even own a jacket, let alone one that fits me. So I go there, and they were impressed by my resume, and I got hired on the spot, and I was
good.
Oh, cool. And I'm like, oh, now I have to move here.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. How am I going to do that in a week?
Did you mention that in the interview, or how did that
work? I did. I was like, oh, just let you know, I live in Austin now, but I'm from Houston, and I'm going to move back. So they got hired me spot on, and it was a complete culture shock. Just coming from what I did back then, and then coming when everyone is just, it's crazy. Yeah, I was a regional manager at the company I was previously, and I come here and I'm just treated like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is a change. I won't forget this, but there was a agent, and she grabbed my cheek. She's like, oh, you're so cute, and I'm like, what are you doing? This is not what I'm used to. So it's you're starting from the bottom up.
Yeah.
But I was there for about 1.5 years. And agents would utilize my service, and I was able to learn so much from the agents there, from their marketing techniques. Someone let me go on listing appointments with them, and I would just, whatever you see on TV, I was experience it in person, and I was just sitting there with a notepad, and I'm like, oh, this is
great. Because I'm sure there's a whole dialogue of how you have to treat the person, how you have to introduce the house, and that's crazy. I've touched this point before with my other guest, where whenever they first started, did people close doors on you, and you had to create your own doors? There's struggle, like I said.
100%.
Yeah.
When I first started, Express had really cool stuff on sale, and I decided to buy red pants.
Wow. What is this, 2013, 12?
Yeah, it was cool back then, right?
Yeah.
So I bought red pants, wore a white shirt, thought I looked fly, $1 million listing, yeah, I'm cool. And I showed a house, and I won't forget the look on their faces, and they just looked at me up and down, and I'm like, oh, something's off. So I was helping this agent out, and I showed the house, and I called the agent back, and I'm like, hey, the showing went well, but I don't know, they gave me a dirty look. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, I don't know. So the next day he called me, he's like, Jason? I was like, yeah. Were you wearing red pants? I was like, well, yeah, that's popular. He's like, that's what it was.
Wow.
So I had to learn how to dress better, and it's a process.
It's a whole dress to impress sort of deal.
Another incident, I was in part of a team, and I was part of a team, and I was showing a house, and the cleaning ladies were there, finishing the house, and I talked to them in Spanish and letting them know, hey, I'm about to show the house, just a heads up. So they all grab their stuff. A prospective buyer walks in, and he's there, and I'm like, hey, we're good. So another agent wanted to show the house, and I just got it set up for them because I had to go to another appointment, and I left. And he liked the house so much, so he wanted to see it another time. So a week later, I'm there, and he looks at me, and he's like, keep in mind, I'm in a full suit. And he looks at me, he's like, oh, you're here again? And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, oh, I thought you were with the cleaning crew.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, in the 3-piece suit?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I thought you were their manager. And I just laugh it off, and it's like, all right,
Just act is off.
whatever. I'm like, haha, no big deal. But yeah, I would say being young. I mean, back then, I'm not that young now. When I first started was, definitely tough. Even now, I had a call the other day, and they're like, can we ask how old you are? You sound young on the phone. So that's definitely a thing.
That closed some doors for me too, as in being too young.
Really?
Yeah. Several before, I think when we first met, I was doing other stuff. I used to own a body shop, and a lot of people would come in and they're like, "Oh, where's the guy?" Like, that's me.
You're like, I'm the guy.
Yeah, and then they'll see me and then be like, I don't know if you could take care of my car, and then just go, yeah. A lot of that happened. I was actually an insurance adjuster at one point, where and I was at a high end company. It was called River Oaks Paint and Body, right?
Oh
there. Yeah. I'm real good friends with them, but they had me as their main guy in the estimating, and Bentleys, Rolls Royce, Lamborghinis. And the first week I got there, the guy was like, "Hey, that's your first guy, go." And it was a Porsche 911, and I was like, "Oh, I'm excited." And he sees me and he was like, "You look like you don't know anything. Let me talk to that other guy." And I was like,
"Wow."
Yeah, it's and I understand because the whole age, and people tend to read the book by its cover.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's in the industry, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's in that industry. But again, I understand their point at somehow, because I learned the hard way of not getting the youngest person to do some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like now I want someone with experience to do it. But in certain points, I like to give other people opportunities to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah, but not in something too critical. Like something that I know that won't affect me if you mess something up.
It's not a big deal. Go ahead.
Yeah. Have you ever had any business adventures other than real estate, or
business adventures other than real estate? Well, when I first initially started, growing up, my mom was worked in a bank, was a banker for 20 plus years. So I would see her going to work, and every Saturday she would take me to her office, and I was of course in the break room eating all the kolaches, and seeing her work sometimes and bothering her, watching one Saturday morning on TV. But I always wanted to work at a bank, always. So I accomplished that dream at 18.
Wow.
And I worked at several different banks and branches for about 5 years. And then I was like,
not for you.
I don't think this is what I wanted.
Wow. I remember being 18, 19, and I would go to the ATM and there was a sticker on the ATM hiring, call us now.
I cannot tell you the amount of places I was 18 fresh out of high school. I was 17 when I graduated high school, but so I was applying. Obviously, my resume's blank. What do you say? Fortunately, my ex-girlfriend's mom at the time had a connection at Compass Bank.
Oh, it does not exist anymore.
Oh yeah, it's.
Did you see that?
It was
BN something like that. BNC.
It was BBVA.
We might be mistaken.
Then PNC.
Because BBVA is Mexican, right? Well, it's Spanish.
Yeah.
It's Spanish. Yeah, I went to the BBVA Compass area.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? It's not the same anymore.
What's going on?
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but that's your adventure.
So she knew somebody, and she knew this is what I wanted to do, and she put in a good word for me, and they hired me because she said I was a good guy. So it's definitely good to have those type of relationships. So I try to talk to everybody. Somebody knows somebody, and it's not why you talk to them, but
correct.
You just never know.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that I want to bring out to people, it's a lot of who you know that brings you. It's not about knowing everybody, but it's the specific group that you know. How do you manage that yourself, of having the right group of friends that would guide you to the right
Yeah, I always try to have friends that have the same goals that I have. I always preach that to my siblings. My brother's 21 and my sister's 16, and I'm always telling when my brother was in high school, I'm like, dude, talk to everybody. I didn't do that in high school. I said, you need to talk to everybody. And he's like, no, I try. And I'm like, do it. Because, just it's good to have friends, and it's good to know other people. But I try to hang out. I love meeting new people. So if you're serving me at a restaurant, or, I meet you out at a bar or something and we chat and there's a good connection, I'm always quick to be like, hey, what's your Instagram? And then we go from there. If there's a good, chemistry and we're having fun, why not?
So socializing, in certain places it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely networking. It's weird to call it that because it's just like, being yourself and just talking to people.
Do you feel like sometimes knowing too many people is bad?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've gotten to that point where, like, knowing too many people is like, oh, shit.
You're like, oh, this person's friends with this person who knows this person.
And it's one thing I touched last episode, whereas I'm like, okay, well, how do you deal with that? You have a friend and you met another person, and you get real cool with both of them, but the other person's not cool with them. And it's a whole drama thing that I think at the age that we're at, we shouldn't worry about it.
How old are you, by the way?
Guess a number, please.
28?
Dude, way off.
Oh, what old are you?
No, I'm 25.
Oh,
yeah, I'm young. I'm young.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I will tell you to guess, but I look very old today, so.
No, but I mean, I'm 25. A lot of people see me on a regular day, and I've sat in tables. I've actually sat with people I've spoken over the phone. They're like, how old are you? And I'm like, 25. It's like, dude, I thought you were like 30, 28, 29.
It's the beard, bro.
Nah.
No, you're very mature.
Yeah, and then my mom says that I'm very used now.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Not like I partied my ass off in my early years,
Yeah.
Partied my ass off, and I did a lot, I started working at a young age, and I wanted to be in that group.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, I moved out of my house when I was 19.
Wow.
And I moved to, there was an apartment complex. I think it still exists. It's called the Muse on Richmond and Montrose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I had a corner apartment, 19 years old. Don't ask me how I got that apartment.
Hey, they did it.
Yeah, but they did it. I got it, and, I was partying my ass off. It was,
yeah. I mean, what else did you do?
Fake ID. You know what I mean?
Wow. You got in.
Yeah. So it was good, but that's what I'm saying. I grew up at a young age. I learned everything the hard way.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with my parents. I just always wanted to be independent.
Yeah, you got to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah, and that's another thing. There's a lot of rough patches in that learning situation. Where, have moving into your first apartment. How was that for you?
Moving into my first apartment. I won't get too personal.
Okay.
I will tell you. So I had my own place in Austin, and I lived there, 2-bedroom, back when rent was affordable back then.
In Austin.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I lived there, and I'd moved out of my parents' house when I was 17. So I've been on my own since 17, and I have never moved back or called for help or asked for money or any of that. So when I moved from Austin to Houston, I called my dad and I said, hey, I'm doing a career change, and he let me stay at his house for a couple of months. So that definitely helped me get on my feet. The crazy story is before that, I was living in Austin with a previous significant other, and I had everything, everything I wanted: furniture, washer, dryer, everything, clothes, stuff from like baseball cards I had as a kid, just everything there. So when I moved to my dad's house for a couple of months, I brought my big screen TV, of course, Best Buy, Black Friday, and brought my big screen TV, a couple of clothes, and that's it. I was going to go back to Austin and get all my stuff back. I go back to Austin probably like a couple weeks later. All my stuff is gone.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all this, all these possessions I had completely gone. Clothes, washer, dryer, furniture. So I like had to start from the bottom, and when I was like 23-ish. So I had it all, or thought I had it all, and I was like, oh, I worked so hard for this, I deserve this. Completely gone. So I come back to Houston, and I'm like, oh, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that. I'm staying at my dad's house. I'm 23, 24, and like, it's crazy. So I moved out. I moved to the Spring Branch area, and it was a rinky-dink apartments, and it was so cheap, all bills paid, and I found this ad on Craigslist.
Yeah.
I'm working at a brokerage, but I couldn't find anything cheap enough, and I went on Craigslist, and I'm like, man, this looks sketchy. But I met the lady there in Spring Branch, and nothing but elderly people that are there. I had a lady that sold tamales, and she would knock on my door. I mean, it was great. I lived there for 3 years. Wow. Because you're in Spring Branch on the middle or anything, and my friends were like, why don't you move? And I'm like, no,
this is my spot.
The first couple of months, I was sleeping on the floor, and then I called my friend. He used to be my roommate, and I'm like, bro, can I borrow your mattress? Do you have a mattress? So he delivered the mattress, and I fortunately had a coworker that gave me some dishes, because I don't even have dishes.
Yeah.
But the first day I was there, I had a couch, no bed, and a couple of dishes. I was drinking like water and Cokes from a wine glass because I didn't have any dishes.
I feel you on that, dude.
But it was free.
Yeah.
I was like, I was so grateful. And the first day I get there, I moved in. It's just me. I like broke down in like tears out of like happiness. I'm like, this is mine. Like,
correct.
This is yours. Yeah. And then from there, I'm just like so grateful. Things come and go, So just to be able to go through that and know that God's going to take care of you, I'm good.
Yeah, my first apartment was the same way, dude.
Yeah.
I came in, and then it was a beautiful apartment, and the glass would hit the street, Richmond, and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. But I had no furniture. I only took my bed from my parents' house, and that's all I had. I didn't have no dishes, cups, or anything like that. So I remember I went out that night, and I met this guy. I've never heard of him anymore. His name's Malik. His dad used to own an antique store in Rice Village. Okay. So socializing.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, after party at my house. On the way there, I'm like, I don't have it.
Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I don't have anything. It was like,
oh, they robbed me, no big deal.
Yeah. We get there, and he was like, dude, what's going on here? I was like, I just moved in like yesterday. I'm sorry. Like,
you've been there for like 4 months.
Yeah. So he's like, no. You can't be like this. He was like, here's my number. Hit me up tomorrow. I was like, okay. He was like, my dad has a warehouse full of furniture that he doesn't use. He was like, wow. I'm like, are you serious? He was like, dude, take it. I was like, wow. Cups, everything. And everything was like nice, nice couch.
You started drinking with your pinky up?
Yeah. I was like, fuck, I made it. Like, and I'm always going to be thankful for what he did for me then.
Where's he at now?
I don't know. I lost track of him.
I'm telling you, he's like an angel.
Yeah.
It's like, they come in and they're gone.
Yeah, I lost track of him. Last time I drove by Rice Village where his dad's antique store, and it wasn't there anymore. And
really?
And I was walking with my girlfriend, and I told her this story. I was like, baby, like this is the spot. Place. This is where I got my furniture for the first time.
Well, it'd be crazy if you go in the store and they're like, "What do you mean? We've been here for 20 years."
Oh my God! Yes, like a Harry Potter.
You're like, oh, it's must be that store across the street. You're like, oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah, but I feel that. I mean, I feel like some people sometimes are embarrassed to show what the struggle is at first. You know, I mean, I've met some people too that that I go to their apartment and it's like that. But I was like, hey, bro, I made a friend of mine. He just moved into his own apartment. Yeah, and he was like, he had a TV and a table, and that's all he had.
That's all you need.
And I was like, hey, bro. I didn't even have that shit when I first started, and forget about my apartment that I had a nice one, but I struggled, the first month I worked my ass off to pay the first rent. second rent, and then after that, I set it a goal that I have to make this money in order to pay this bill. Because if not, I would go out to drink and just spend that shit all the time. Did you ever have any issues where you didn't know how to manage your money and you're like, oh, man?
Fortunately, no.
No? You've always been good with money?
Yeah.
Well, your mom was a banker.
My mom was a banker, and she would, checkbook and literally write everything down and to the penny every single time. So I don't want to say I learned from her, because sometimes I check my statement and I'm like, how much money do I have? I'm like, I eat out a lot.
Yeah,
I need to stop. But no, fortunately, I've been good money managing wise.
I'm sometimes scared. I'm not in a bad way, but I go out to eat, and me and my girlfriend eat everything.
Yeah,
like where we order everything that's on the appetizer and like 3 entries.
Just go to buffets, bro. I mean, it's good.
My God, I used to live on Bel Air, in some apartments right next to the Little Woodrow's 610 in Bel Air.
Yeah.
So there's a Chinese buffet on the other side right next to Stella Link. I used to walk there every Thursday, and I just eat. And my girlfriend's like, "How can you eat that food?" And I was like, "It's the best fucking food."
And it's like $10.
Yeah, it's $10. Best fucking food ever. Yeah. And I walk back home and I'm good.
Yeah.
I think buffets are kind of
slept on.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, don't sleep on buffets.
I think there's a hype that needs to stop. They need to bring that back. They need to bring buffets back.
They're open on Christmas, Thanksgiving.
They never stop working.
They don't stop.
That's good. Do you work all year long? How does your schedule work?
Yes. Yeah. I try to take weekends off. Sometimes, like once a month, where I'd like take a trip somewhere for like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then I come back. But I just came back from Belize a couple of days ago, and it was New Year's Eve. You don't think there's stuff going on. But there's stuff always going on. So I came back home Monday, and I'm like, I felt bad. I shouldn't have gone. I mean, nothing. There's no ball that was dropped or anything, but you just feel guilty. Like, I could have done this. I should have done that. I work for myself, so I guess that's good to still have that mentality.
So, I mean, I understand when you say that. You went and you didn't tell anybody. You're just like, I'm doing that. Yeah, I've done that before where. My girl's like, hey, do you want to go to Mexico? Cancun. I was like, okay, well, what days are we booking? Yeah. She was like, Thursday to Sunday. I'm like, Thursday and Friday, I work. How do I do it?
Yeah.
My boss calls me. I'm at the airport. A video call, and I'm like with 15 other people on that video call.
Have like the green screen. Have you seen that?
No, I mean, I didn't turn my camera on, but all you hear is like,
like
flight number.
Southwest Airlines.
So my boss was like, Josh, where are you? I was like, I'm at the airport. Where are you going? I was like, Cancun. It was like, am I the boss or you're the boss? I was like,
so you going on vacation?
Yeah. So
flight for Cancun is now boarding, and you're like, what? Yeah, I gotta let you go.
Yeah. So I mean, and that has helped me on my priorities. Were work, fun, and then but I actually put travel on top of work because I think traveling is a big part.
Stuck at home working.
Yeah, and I think that's one good subject that I could talk with you about traveling, because I know you travel a lot. Mm-hmm. We started traveling a lot this year. We went all over the place, and I feel like some people don't invest their money into traveling.
You have to.
Yeah, because I don't know what people know. Maybe we could give them some tips on how to do it, because I see people spend money in bottles and all that partying stuff. I'm like, dude, you just spent $700 there. That's ridiculous. $700 gets you a lot. Yeah,
a lot. I'm cheap.
Yeah.
Fortunately I have a credit card with free miles.
Okay.
And I spend money for my business and work and whatever. I have a lot of points.
Oh wow.
So my last trip, I just used my points. And I usually go with groups of friends. Mm-hmm. So you go with a group of friends, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and split it. You have a good time. I mean, $700 on a bottle, or it was actually $2,500 this weekend for New Year's Eve. One of my friends bought a bottle, and the section was $25 for like 2 bottles. I'm like, what?
What?
Why?
Yeah, but I mean, we can talk. we can't really talk. We spend money on some things that
a lot of dumb stuff I buy.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I purchase that I'm sometimes like, wow, I didn't spend that much money. But credit cards are good. You use your credit cards to go traveling. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo the credit card thing, because then you'll be stuck in a debt that you never want to get.
Sure.
Some people don't know that credit cards, first time users, I've heard this, and I've heard it from people that they max out their card thinking, hey, it's gonna stay at the same, and then I'll pay it every month, but they don't know that every month they're adding an interest rate.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like 17%.
Yeah, so you want to manage your money good on that. Any tips on you've been to Mexico?
Yes, I went to Tulum twice last year.
How's that?
It's a blast. First off, which is terrible because it was like 2021.
It was towards the end. COVID.
It was good. What's not to like?
Let me tell you a little bit about Tulum. I don't know if you knew this. Probably about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I was born and raised in Mexico City. And my grandma came along some land in Cancun. Not in Tulum, but in Cancun. Yeah. So we used to go every summer. Cancun was my thing every summer. And awesome. it was still beautiful, but it was not as hype as it is now.
Yeah.
And we used to take a bus with like sheeps and shit like that. And we'll pass through a little ghost town. And we're like, it's a ghost town. Never thought about it.
Right.
Years come along and they start building in that place, and now it's Tulum.
That is insane.
It used to be a ghost town, man. Like nothing was there.
Wow. Now they're going to build another airport so you could just have direct flights.
Yeah, there's this guy by the name of Roberto Palazuelos. He is the owner of pretty much every hotel there. Where it's a crazy story again. I like reading and like getting into this kind of stuff. His grandfather owned everything in Acapulco. You ever heard of Acapulco before? Frank Sinatra, all those people. Yeah. So whenever they said, hey, Acapulco's dying down, there's this town on the other side of the coast. It looks beautiful. Let's do it. They built Cancun with the hotel resorts.
Yeah.
And then he said, hey, well, grandson, that place built. Now that place is worth billions.
Oh, it's nuts.
That did you know that sculpture? When you take a picture, they moved it inside the resort now because it used to be on the street, and there used to be people charging you to take pictures.
Did they really?
Yeah. So now the owner, Roberto Palazuelos, he put the sculpture inside, and he's charging himself.
They should have done that a long time ago. That's smart.
Yeah, but. Like I heard in a podcast, it's called Creativo. That's a podcast, and he was one of the guys there. That it's happening again in Tulum, where it's dying down. A lot of new investors are coming in with not that great of a love for the land, and they don't take care of it. Yeah. They're throwing trash away, some kind of stuff. So they're losing the value.
It's terrible because when I went in January and then I went back again in July, there was so much that had been done within that time frame where I'm like, oh, that's new. You're starting to see these major hotel chains pop up, and you're like, oh, it's changed.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm telling you, it's new investors that come in and they've messed the place up. Yeah. We recently went to Cancun about 2 months ago.
Yeah,
it was one of those random ones where like on the weekend, well, let's just go. But we didn't want to go to Cancun. We went to Playa del Carmen.
Yeah. That's nice too.
It's beautiful. I'm gonna tell you a story that we went to this beautiful hotel where the shower was outside. And you see it on pictures. You're like, oh my god, it's beautiful. Yeah. I'm gonna take a shower outside. When you get there, there's like iguanas and like monkeys on the outside, and you're like, I'm gonna have to take a shower there. And it's like, no,
just jump in the pool.
Yeah, so that's not my scene. Tulum was never my scene. It's I love house music, and it's like, I love it, but it's just not my scene anymore.
Yeah,
I'm more of a. Have you been to Mexico City?
I haven't. Isn't that terrible?
You have to go. I
want to go.
More of that vibe. You have to go. Let me know, and then I'll give you contacts in it. We have followers from there too.
Oh,
yeah. Hola. Yeah, no, saludos a todos. Saludos a mis amigos de la Ciudad de México que nos están viendo. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, and I wanted to touch into the subject with you. When do you feel comfortable? Have you, there's a point in life where you feel comfortable. Are you that person that stays in the same place, or you want to like go up and you want to reach the top? No?
I am never comfortable, and it's terrible. I barely get any sleep, just because what I want to do and what my goals are, which is terrible because it's hard sleeping at night. But no, I never get comfortable. I always want to do more, bigger, better, not just for me, my family, I mean, I don't have any kids or anything. I have my dog. But no, I always want to do more. I always want to be busy. Today was a busy day. For example, I had 4 meetings with clients, and then I called you when I was out of the meeting, which was 7 p.m., and it's midnight now. No, and it's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah. And I just love being so busy. So I just want to get more business and be busy and
so
do what I can.
You like to stay active.
For sure.
Yeah, today...
Not physically, but...
Today I spoke to the person that was cutting my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, my phone kept on going off. She was like, how do you stay so active? I was like, I like to be active. I like to be doing things. Yep. Because there was a point in my life where I would be sitting down watching TV, and then I'll see 2-3 hours pass by, and I didn't do anything, Yeah. I didn't do anything. But I like the fact that you say that you're active. So what, your day starts 6 a.m. in the morning, 7 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, get up at 6, go to spinning class.
We haven't gone.
Bro, you tell me. I got a free friend pass. You let me know. And that wakes me up. I mean, it gets your blood flowing. It's good. And go back home, walk my dog, make breakfast, go to the office. And I have my set schedule every single day, and it changes. People call, can I see this house? Can you meet this inspector? But as long as I'm busy and active, I am very content.
Do you have a mentor or somebody that you follow that you're like, hey, this is how I want to be? Yeah,
so he started in real estate. His name's David Atkins. He was a new kid on the block, and when I was working as a floating assistant for that brokerage, he came in and made a huge splash. It's completely different than everyone else that I experienced in the office, and I was like, oh, this guy's different. I'm like, this is pretty cool. I'm like, that's goals.
Yeah.
And a year and a half later, I started working with him, and I learned literally everything from him. And actually had a meeting and phone call with clients today with him, and incredibly knowledgeable. And it's good. We're actually doing a lot of co-listings together now.
Wow.
It's in his staging company that does it all, and he's doing it all by himself.
How crazy it is that
it is nuts
that you see somebody when you first start, and then now you're actually working with them.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't have thought, and it's crazy. And we work so well together. We finish each other's sentences. We think the same things. He's a little bit louder than I am, and I feel like sometimes we're like Penn and Teller. Sometimes I'm there and I'm like, yep, that's what I'm thinking. Yep.
It's so good to have a good team around you.
Yeah.
Of working. You being a teamwork person, you have to be able to work with other people. Did you ever have that issue where you were an independent? You don't want to work with somebody, or you always like working with other people?
I like working with other people, but then again, I like working with other people,
Have you ever, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Have you applied at a job before and you get those personality tests on the application?
I have done that before.
They're like, can you describe yourself?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm good looking.
Handsome.
Handsome, yeah. No, but they give you the options like handsome, good looking, team worker. And I'm like, is anyone ever honest on any of these?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like I'm cute.
Yeah, right? Like I'm a team worker. I like to take constructive criticism. Yeah. About that, are you a good receiver of constructive criticism?
Tell me, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
You don't take it too hard?
No. Everyone has their own opinions, and if they have something to say, and go ahead. let me know, and I can always perfect my craft if I'm doing something wrong. If a client thinks a certain way, if my marketing can be better, my videos, anything, I'm all for it.
Good. So your marketing, you do it all yourself, or you go? Okay.
Do it all myself. I have an amazing brokerage that I work with that's able to expose properties internationally. I work at Sotheby's International Realty, and amazing. But all the marketing that an agent does is by themselves. So everything, as far as social media, is everything I do myself. And I don't know how many times I said myself the last 10 seconds.
It's okay.
Anyways.
I saw that I said, I know a lot on the first episodes. I used to say a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. But yeah, no, it's... I've had people reach out to me and DM me like, hey, who does your marketing? And I'm like, me?
You should start your own company.
I've actually have had people reach out. I've referred people to, companies that I know, and I'm like, what am I doing? I should probably do this side hustle. Who knows?
What's stopping you?
Damn, and that is a good question.
Yeah.
Very good question. I'm stopping myself. Did you get the answer?
No.
It's something I've considered, and you never know.
I mean, if you ever need any help, I do a lot of marketing myself too.
I've noticed the amount of views you've gotten on your first couple of podcasts, dude.
I know, man. It's
incredible.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and I have the help of a team. I created a group of friends.
That's nice. I wish I could have that one day.
You're always welcome. It's a group of 5 friends that I have. Alex, George, Pito, and other friends that I have, where they're all really knowledgeable on social media, marketing, all that kind of shit. So I send them things first. What do you think about this? And they're like, hey, do this, change that. Start doing that. So the videos that I put on Instagram or Facebook, they're catchy because of the things that I put on.
They're moving.
Yeah. So, I like doing that kind of stuff. I'm creative myself. I like to do a lot of creative stuff. Like I said, if you ever need any help with, marketing, or you need designing, anything like that, you hit me up.
I will.
Do that. And you talking about those views, this episode is being sponsored.
Oh, third episode?
Third episode is already sponsored, my guys. Are you a boot guy?
I am not.
No.
Isn't that terrible?
I need to get you into
We're
boots,
from Texas,
man.
and I don't have
And rodeo
boots.
season's coming.
They just released their lineup today.
Oh, I have not seen that. You know who it is? No?
A few of them. Ricky Martin.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, George Strait is gonna
Yeah, he's a big guy. So, I'm going to get you their Instagram so you get to see. It's called El Toro Boots. You guys could go follow them on Instagram. The link is down below. They have everything from hats, shirts, jeans, boots. I actually wear their hats. So these are the little designs. This is not them, but they sell these at their store. They have the rooster, all that kind of stuff.
Yours says King on there.
Yeah. Okay. This is the line right here.
Lion King.
So I have all the hats, and I go get it from them. You can order it online, and you go pick it up, or they send it to you via UPS, however you want. Yeah, they're based off of Pasadena, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not that far.
I need to go with you.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
We don't have a discount code, but hopefully later on, whenever we get another sponsorship, we'll get a discount code. But yeah, they give you, they have the jeans, the boots, they have everything that you could think of, and they're good people, good brothers that I know. So thank you so much for sponsoring this being the first sponsors in this podcast. It means a lot to me. Awesome. And like I said, I'll link them below, and you guys could go check them out, and hopefully we could go. I'll take you one day.
Seriously, soon.
Yeah,
because March is going to be here around the corner.
Yeah, man, and it's the whole pandemic. I was scared that the rodeo was going to be canceled again.
I know, they canceled last year's.
Yeah,
I remember I went to the rodeo cook-off, and that's literally the beginning of COVID.
Yeah,
I'd gone to a cook-off tent, and it was amazing, of course. And I want to say the day later, all over the news was confirmed coronavirus case.
Yes.
And I was like, what's this? A beer? Corona? What's going on?
I don't know, but I think we saw each other at the cook-off.
Did we?
Probably.
I
have that memory of seeing you at the rodeo.
not remember that even.
Yeah, the cook-off here in Houston is crazy.
It is nuts.
Yeah, but I remember the day after the event or something like that. It was like canceled.
Yeah, like we were like the last ones there.
Yeah,
and it was like boom, done. It's like what? Here we are 2 years later. Is that not nuts?
Can you believe this whole pandemic?
No,
I can't believe it to this point right now.
No, there's. I actually I tested positive 2 weeks ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
My second time having it. Yeah, it was coughing, phlegm. I thought it's just a minor cough. I could not move. Like the last 3 days, it was just me in bed or on the couch, like not being able to do anything, and I felt terrible. Like I couldn't get up, didn't go to the gym, I didn't go outside. I hated it.
Yeah.
Have you had it before?
I've had it once, and I didn't know I had it.
Ooh.
And this was when it first started.
This is your fault. You're the one who spread it.
Do you watch Family Guy?
No. I love Family Guy.
No, I'm sorry. It's not. It's South Park. Do you watch South Park?
Oh, I've seen a few episodes.
There's a new episode that came out as a pandemic special. It's so good. It's about.
Is it new?
It's brand new. Brand new. You have to go watch it. It's. I don't want to spoil it, but it has something to do with like it was you. Yeah, and it has to do with Mickey Mouse. So you'll like it. If people have watched it, they'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I want this whole thing to be over already. So we good. I've done 4 COVID tests within 2 weeks.
Wow.
Negatives.
I think it's like the worst part is getting that thing up your nose and you're like crying and it's picking apart of your brain and you're like.
It's bad. It's bad. Like I said, I've gone 4 times to get tested because people around me had gotten it. So I was like, I need to go get tested every time. So I've gone like 2 times, and then today I went because I knew I was having you, and because I'm leaving to Mexico, so I want to be clear. So negative, and I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, my parents are like, dude, how many tests do you get done? I was like, I don't care. And I have people coming to the house, and I want to have everyone safe. I hate the people that know that they have it and they're still out and about.
Yeah,
man.
It's terrible.
Yeah, have you ever encountered anybody like that?
Anyone that I know? No. Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, I had a friend that this guy was out and about and he knew he had it.
Oh my god!
I was just like, dude, what are you doing? And I saw pictures of him at a club, and I'm like, oh my god,
that
dude,
is terrible.
Yeah, the conscience. People are dying from this thing.
No, they really are.
Yeah. So I don't know. You follow me on Instagram. I did a story on questions of what people wanted to hear.
Sure.
Little questions. The question of the day was, what is something that you can't live without?
What is something I can have? Like a physical thing?
Physical, material, whatever you.
I go to church every Sunday. I have to go to church. That's the beginning of my week.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah. It inspires you, or gives you that energy.
And I go by myself. I try to bring my siblings. They go whenever. I go to church every week, every Sunday. It helps me. But as far as like physical, I need my phone.
Oh, wow.
It's terrible.
Yeah, same.
It is. And I don't have like notifications on like any apps, so
you have to go look.
I have to go look.
Yeah.
But if I had notifications like on Facebook or Instagram or anything, it would be nonstop. So I just leave it as text messages and phone calls, emails, and that's it. So I'm always email is probably like the number 1 app that I'm looking.
Have you seen that report that you get at the end of the day? I think
I have that turned off.
Oh yeah, you don't want to look at that.
My brother's like, go ahead and look at this. I said, oh, it's off.
Yeah,
sorry. You're like, no idea. Don't want to look at that.
Yeah. So some people said, some people over here, a lot of people said their phone. Somebody from Mexico put, this comments from Mexico. He said, perfume porque le odio que las personas huelan mal. So they hate.
That is hilarious. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think I wasn't a big cologne guy till like 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you like? Axe.
A bad idea. Do you remember that when the Axe first came out? It was just going at it.
I didn't even have to shower.
Yeah,
at the gym.
you're sure right.
I just like. we had to go to Costco and get like just
the big ones. It was like a Red Bull package.
I know. It was.
That's one
Their
thing.
marketing was good. Is you'd see a guy spray it and then these girls all over them, and I'm like, oh.
It was like Old Spice.
Like, Mom, I need this. You know.
Yeah, I used to have one in my locker in high school.
Oh, for sure.
Just go, between classes, go in there, clean me up, and I don't know. Back in high school, like you'll see a girl and it was like a hug.
Oh,
You're like, hey, how are you?
He smells like Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jolene! Did you see Josh? He smells like Phoenix. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was back in the day. It was Hollister too. Remember, like that cologne from the store.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, Abercrombie.
I wasn't an Abercrombie guy.
Nah, that cologne. Dude.
Yeah,
it's good.
There was a price difference. Hollister and Abercrombie, right?
Yeah, I think probably. I couldn't fit into either, so I don't know. I don't pull style for me.
It was like those skinny tight shirts.
I was like, what?
Ripped jeans and like the shell.
Oh
necklace.
Yeah. I said, y'all ain't got no extra large. Never.
Another person here put, I can't live without cigarettes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yep.
I smoke, but I'm not I'm gonna go outside and smoke.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, like a casual smoker. Like if I'm drinking or something, like I'll take a cigarette. But I hope you overcome your addiction. That's something
got this.
tough.
2022, new year, new you.
Yeah, new year, new you. There's a lot of new ways you could stop. There's gum. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like non tobacco cigarettes now.
Really?
Yeah, where you could just smoke and you get the sense, but it's not actually tobacco.
Oh, there you
Which
go.
I feel like you still are smoking, so you probably don't go that way. Just try the gums too. They have gum. It's good for you.
What's terrible is like it doesn't taste good. It's the nicotine that does.
It's the nicotine that tastes
like
good.
If it tastes like strawberries and bananas, I'd be like all day.
Yeah, I was actually watching a Joe Rogan episode earlier, and he was talking about how he's in Austin. He's like a big a marijuana guy, whatever. Yeah. So he says that.
Hey, I'm waiting that for 3 more podcasts in.
So. Yeah. Hopefully, Mom. I'm sorry. Yeah, but he's saying that people like to smoke joints out of tobacco because you get the high of the tobacco and then you get the weed.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea that's how it was happening. But his guest was Wiz Khalifa, so you could imagine.
Oh,
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The other one said, my phone, I run my business directly from it. Yeah, that's something that you could relate with. My phone and Chisme. Ooh. Instagram, dude. Instagram is dangerous. Instagram and Facebook.
Don't even tell me. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten into like some Instagram drama that you can think of? No?
No, I just block them.
You're a blocker? I'm a blocker too.
Yeah, it depends. Like if it's someone that I've like known and like, we had a band-aiding, I won't block you. But if you're like talking mess, I'll block you.
I'm a person that I said before. I'm a person where I would literally stop talking to you and I would never hear from me.
Yeah.
I'm that person. I have a few people that I know and out of nowhere I just I sense vibes. I'm that kind of person.
Sometimes they're into your life for a short period and that's it.
And sometimes it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that, and they hold that person so long that sometimes it becomes a little toxic.
For sure.
You don't want to do that. I have another one that said music. They can't live without music. Are you listening to music in the car?
All day for sure.
Yeah. What's your favorite right now?
God, I'm going to sound terrible. So in the morning, I wake up and I listen to Christian music.
Really?
Every morning.
Okay.
And then by the time I get out of my ride, it's like banging, like Houston rap. Very diverse.
Yeah, I'm very, very diverse, and my girlfriend tells me that all the time. Like I could be in the office listening to house music, and then I get in the car and I listen to Mexican music.
Yep.
And then we're halfway in, and I'm listening to salsa and merengue.
Yeah, you have to.
She's like, dude, just listen to the radio.
No, I switch it up too. I grew up with the Hano music and country, 90s country. From that to rap to you name it, everything in between. And I was in a band growing up.
Same.
What did you play?
The trumpet.
I'm about to leave. Are you serious?
Yeah, I played the trumpet.
So did I.
Oh, dude.
You got yours?
Yeah, I still have mine.
Bro. I'm down.
Yeah. Actually, I pulled it out for like beginning of December. My sister took it out for me. She was like,
"What do you have? A box strad?"
Yeah. And then it was silver, like silver.
Oh, I have the same one.
And then I remember my mom used to rent those, like the instrument rentals. And then my dad got me one of those for Christmas.
I got that for Christmas one year too.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. It was like going to a freshman year.
Yeah, starting marching band, so you could look cool with the silver trumpet. Yeah. So I learned how to play the trumpet, the trombone, and the saxophone a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. So I like music a lot. I have a lot of friends that are musicians.
Like, what high school did you go to?
Elsick High School.
Oh, so y'all had some banging like stand tunes.
Well, the teacher that I had at that time, the director, his name was Mr. Lean, and he was like a jazz guy.
Okay.
So we were Earth, Wind, and Fire, all that kind of stuff. So it was fun at that point. I didn't stay till I think my junior year. I stopped going to band. I started playing baseball, and that kind of interfered.
What'd you play?
I was shortstop.
There you go.
Yeah, shortstop and second base. So I did that, and then to now, sometimes I pull out the trumpet and I play sometimes.
Oh man, I have mine right there, and I'm like, do I have valve oil?
Yeah.
Like, where do they sell those?
Oh my god, yeah. Well, I put regular oil.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, nothing has happened.
You're like, nah.
Where do you get valve oil from? I mean, Amazon or come on, dude.
Vegetable oil. Come on.
Yeah, but that's good that you played some music and you have lessons of music.
Yeah.
But again, I wanna thank you for being here.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
One last question, and something that I asked the guests that have been here. What is one good thing or one good tip that you give to a young person listening to this, or anybody that's listening to this? What is one good tip that you could give them in life or whatever?
One good tip. There'll always be ups and downs. Even at my lowest, it's crazy, but don't give up. Just be positive. There's a lot of people that have it much worse, even at your worst.
Yeah.
So it's always to think positive and, be yourself, think positive, and don't think negatively. That's terrible, but
okay. Yeah, I totally get that, dude. A lot of people, like I said before, they stay in their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And just sometimes they're negative about things. Like,
take it to the next level. I have friends that complain about the smallest things, and I'm like, listen to what you're complaining about.
Yeah.
Like, that is not a problem. That is not a problem.
I completely feel you. Well, I thank you for that. Can you leave your social media so where people can follow you?
Yeah, for sure. So on Instagram, it's at Jasonleehouston. Give me a follow there. I may follow back if you're cute. Who knows? But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll link his social media in the bottom. Hopefully, again, thank you for staying here to listen. Jason, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Hopefully we could do another episode another day. So he gave some really good tips on real estate and all the things that you do, because I was curious on how it all worked other than Netflix.
Yeah.
So he gave me some good knowledge, dude. Again, thank you so much. Thank you to Untitled Boots for sponsoring this episode. I really appreciate you guys believing in my project. And hopefully see you again in the next episode. Awesome. See you next Tuesday.
See you guys.
Awesome, dude.